So facing west, we're going to make a large wall that's going to be 18 voxels tall here. Then we're going to take our line tool. We're going to make sure it's on the 7 voxel setting. We're going to put it flush up against the wall here. Click, move up, and then we're going to move over to the right 5 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just like that. Okay, now if you come over in my position, Tima, you can see that roaming vector sticking out there at the bottom. We're going to grab that. Now you're welcome to participate along with me as I do this. So we're just going to grab that piece, put it over here and save it. Next thing we're going to do is make a reactor. And I find that, or Draco taught me that making the reactors out of glass gives you a lot more visual to see what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to make this
Voila!
reactor. But I'm making it from scratch. See, that's the rub. So I'm taking this, copy paste. Moving up, and then we're going to throw this roaming vector that we created from that line tool directly in the center. Now the way you're going to know it's in the center is it's going to modify every reactor piece, and it's going to touch it. So that's how you know it's directly in the center. And once you get it looking like that, then all you have to do is take your paintbrush, paint this top right corner here, and that's going to be the piece that we want. Okay? So we're grabbing this piece, and I can go into a little bit more detail about what everything means and stuff, but just for following along, let's just keep moving. So I'm going to grab this piece, control copy, and now I'm going to create a closed reactor on the ground. All right, so closed reactor. All right, just 4 voxels, or 8 voxels like this, in a cube. Make it white so you can see it. Now, once you have created your closed reactor, we're going to take that piece that we colored, copy it, and we're going to put it in the orientation of the closed reactor as the same orientation as it is in the open reactor.
Okay.
You should see.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Now, let me reiterate what he's just said here. Basically, after making this wall that is 18 high with a 7 voxel line tool, 7 settings right here. Basically, we're going to go to the bottom, click. We're going to go up until it turns green. Make sure that way you know where your center point is. And right there, and we're going to go over to our right 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to click. Here at the very bottom, you'll see this one piece is sticking out. That's the part, that is the one we're wanting to grab a hold of. Click, copy, Control C to copy, and we're going to bring this over here and we're going to paste it. And this is the one we're going to be using. Bam, just like that. I made that reactor, which is basically a 3x3x3 with everything chopped out in between the corners except for the center. I take this particular roaming vector, I paste it into the center of the reactor. I then create this cube, which is a 2x2x2 right here.
Well, first, you want to make sure you paint that, kind of just for visual, but just paint that top right one so you know which one it is.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you make that closed reactor there.
So we made this 2x2x2, and this one up in the corner that looks like it's actually protruding down into that space is the one we're after. So we're actually going to copy this one, Control C, Control V, and we're going to paste that into the same corner location as where we pulled it out of. So paste right there. All right, all you?
Yep. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys why it's called a closed reactor. Because by pasting that, it hasn't changed anything on the outside, but it has actually modified all these voxels. So the next step is actually just taking this closed reactor and opening it up. So we're just going to take all these pieces, copy, paste, and we're going to make a reactor out of it.
So
and this takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm going to walk them through this right quick. And basically, I'm going to pull out each and every one of these by just doing a Control-C, Control-V, and I'm going to line this up with its corresponding piece and just give it a gap. Give it one voxel gap in between each individual part that I'm pulling out. And that way you can actually visually see what each one of these actual voxels look like in the world. So just by pulling them apart, pasting them out, we can actually play with it a little bit more and understand what exactly has happened to this closed reactor in the process. And this is pretty much what Kodi's doing over there, and you're kind of focused on me, but as soon as I get my butt halfway caught up, then he can kind of take over. I am way off base, ain't I? Holy crap. But I'm just giving it some space in between all of these voxels. Like so. And I'm finally on my last one.
Whereas, like I said, it is time consuming to do that step, so I'm sure if anyone's following you along, they could use the extra time.
Okay, so basically you can see what has happened to all that voxels from that reactor, that it has literally pulled this stuff apart to just like, wow, like this. And all those voxels that were around that shape that we pasted in there has basically conformed to the shape that we pasted into it because of dominance. And in that fashion, it has created all these new shapes that we can use for various different things, and this kind of leads into Kodi Part 2.
Alright guys, so now that we've expanded that closed reactor, all we have to do is take a putty voxel. Now I showed in the video how to make it. It's really, whoa.
Oops, sorry. It expanded your little work area here. Sorry.
Back up there. No worries. Okay, yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is just paste putty voxel right in the center. If you don't know how to make putty voxel, all you have to do is heal some earth on your clay, and then paint it, and then grab that painted heal earth. You want to make sure it's like a couple voxels down, just to ensure that there's no extra data attached to it. Alright, so once you paste that putty voxel in there, you're going to notice that it creates a offset voxel to the bottom left.
Alright, let me grab a putty right quick. I got putty voxels down here at the very bottom, by the way.
Yeah, I just used one off my I templated one, and I would suggest everyone does that just for easy use.
And I'll kind of go over making a putty voxel right quick just to kind of knock that out so it's a part of the tutorial. Basically, we're going to take a selection here while we are underground. We are under the dirt layer of the surface here, so we're down in the earth. I'm just going to make a selection down here. I'm going to take my heal tool and heal that box. I'm going to take my selection tool, grab right in the center, and basically just drag it over the top to the center. Then I'm going to push it down so we actually have like this little bar that goes inside that healed earth space. I'm going to take my heal tool, or excuse me, my paint tool. Don't matter what the texture is. For this, we've just got this darkest work slate, and we're going to paint that. We now take the selection tool, push it in, make a Control-C to copy that voxel that's all the way inside the healed earth, and voila, we have a putty voxel. Okay, and let's head back up to Kodi and catch up to where he's at. I'm going to paste this.
Okay, so now that we've got that putty, let's throw it in the center, and it's going to make that offset voxel that we're looking for. Now these offset voxels are those huge offset voxel boards that you see, you know, other people like Draco and who was your guest that was working on the Burst Star has been making an excellent offset board, which is really worth picking up if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
see if I can drop it for you.
Yeah, Pharrell's been working on one too. I'm going to step back for a moment here. If you notice that where the yellow area is here, that's where I pasted it. I pasted it on the inside center of it. So basically what it's done is, let me back out. You see where the yellow is? 1, 2, I'm in the center of that reactor space, but when I paste it, look where it showed up. That is an offset voxel. In other words, the actual physical location of it is right here in the center. And there it is. That is the physical location of it. But the visual location of it is over here, way the heck over onto the corner outside the space. And that's basically what he is after.
Yep. So anytime you want to grab that voxel, you're going to grab the center of the reactor. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to copy that center of the reactor, control copy, and then I'm going to paste or mark a single voxel square in the ground. That's important. And you can just follow along if you want as we do this. So now that I have this selection here, I'm gonna push it towards the ground. So it's just sticking out a little bit. And then I'm gonna kind of put it on top of the square here. And then I'm gonna move it out one in both directions to the bottom left. Because if you notice, the mark that we made is now the location of the center of the reactor, and our offset voxel location is now in orientation to it properly. So if we ever want to select this voxel in the future, we're going to be able to use that white mark as a tool. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just paste it up in a line like this. Then we're going to select the mark we made on the ground, pull it up, pull up the bottom of it so it's not touching. And then,
Great. Hold on a second here. Basically, I've got my box right here. So if I click here, if I move up there and click that, then boom, there it is. That's the selection area. Now I can see here in Control X, Control Z, you can make sure that you have it in your hand. And what he's fixing to do right here is he's actually going to make a vertical pipe, pretty much.
Yep. All I'm going to do is smooth it. So, again, using that grid, or that white mark as a guide, I'm going to lift that selection tool up. And then I'm just going to hit it once with the smooth. Now, you need a long pipe like this. There you go.
Alright, so we're making a long bar, pretty much, on this right here.
Might be some dirty air here or something.
That's a possibility. We've been working in this area for quite a bit now.
Okay, let me just clean it up for 1 second. And to clean any kind of workspace, most of you guys know this, but all you have to do is heal a section and then delete it.
Let me see how mine does. How many smooths are we going to do to this bar, by the way?
It usually takes about 4 or 5, but if the process is not, it's a little bit different than normal smoothing.
I hit it one time and it went.
Yep, that's what's supposed to happen. All right, let me place this down real quick.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to drag that line up, make sure it's off the ground, hit it once with the smooth tool, normal smooth, and yeah, it's going to go boop, makes everything disappear. Now, here's the thing, even though that voxel structure is still there, you can't continue to smooth it. it's not going to react to it. It's not going to keep getting smaller. So what you have to do is go back to your putty voxel. That's why it's good to have it on the template. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on this white box. Move it up a couple times, usually about 2. And you're going to start clicking. And what you're looking at is the new smaller line that we've created with the smooth tool. And you'll see at the top here, I'm not sure if you can see on Tim's screen there, but up at the top you can see the difference between the top of the voxels and now the new smaller voxels.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Alright, so once you do that process, we're actually going to repeat it a couple times. So we're just going to keep pasting that putty, smoothing it, keep pasting the putty, smoothing it. And you need, like I said, you need to do it about 4 or 5 times.
Oh, so we're just repeating the process over and over.
Yep.
Until, how small do we want to get this?
Pretty, not too small, pretty thick, but I'll show you when we get there. Like I said, it's about 4 or 5 smooths.
Okay.
I like it to be, have some weight to it, of course.
Dude, look at this funky crap that I got at the bottom.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
That is hysterical. It's freaking awesome looking. Check that out.
Yeah, those are like, oh, that would be sweet for a build.
Look at that. That is some funky looking shaping. I have never seen shaping like that. That's so cool. All right, let's do this again. I'm going to keep this up.
You have to give props to Gold Draco. I was working with him the last couple days. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks, trying to figure out how to do this, and it's been a quest. It's been a fun quest because I actually completed it, so I'm really proud of that. And I'm really happy I get to share with you guys.
That is cool.
Let's smooth it one more time, and then that's going to probably be it. Should be the size we need.
So, am I there yet? Can you tell?
I would go down one more time, or 1 or 2 more times.
Okay. All right, so, but every time you smooth it, it goes and disappears. So that marker on the ground really, really freaking helps. That is neat. But you're basically making an offset microvoxel. Which is pretty awesome in itself.
Yeah, this process does take a while, but it's the only way that I know how to do it.
Well, it's an offset microvoxel. That's just leaked by itself, man.
All
right.
All right, so yeah, let me know when you get it looking about mine. You can even go smaller. Do it. It doesn't matter how big or how thick or thin it is. It's still going to work and function. That's what's kind of cool about this.
Well, look how tiny it is now already.
Yeah, you can use the granular smoothing if you want more control, but it does take a while.
I think I'm good. I think I'm there, dude.
Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create another reactor. And again, I would really recommend glass so we can see what's going on. I think I'm going to smooth this one more time. Okay, so once you've created your reactor and you've got it to the width you want, just use that marker on the ground as a guide. Drag your cursor up and try to grab a nice segment, somewhere from the middle, something that looks pretty straight and distorted, or not distorted, I should say. And then we're going to take that and we're going to move it over to our reactor, and we're going to put it in the bottom left hand side, so it's below the bottom left reactor.
It's hard to see it on your screen there. They still haven't quite fixed that.
These are white. These aren't glass. For some reason.
I think I got it. Maybe not.
Now, if you get it, it will pull it. Not. You shouldn't mirror it or do anything like that to it. Okay, that looks like you got it. Okay, good. All right, so now once you have this piece, we're going to grab the entire bottom section of this reactor here. Just,
okay.
it can only be one. It only has to be one width. Just grabbing those 4 voxels, and we're going to take it. We're going to move it up. We're going to align it with the top versions, and then we're going to mirror it upwards, using the green tool, and then we're going to mirror it sideways using the blue tool, and then you're going to click. All right, now that is
I got you. Oh, I see. It's all coming together now. I know exactly what you're doing now. That's wicked.
Now the next step is simply grabbing the center of that reactor. So you can grab this piece here. Then we're going to move it up, paste it. Then we're going to mirror it. Mirror it the other direction. Click. And then that's going to be a nice X to work with. And then you can take this X and start making your lattice. And the level of complexity and different things you can do are, very extensive with just these initial pieces.
Basically, that's the area. The area that it actually is taking up is the 3 voxels wide in the center. Don't be confused over that, because you still are working in that center space. Basically, 1, which is this one right here, is actually residing where this voxel space is here on the screen. This one over here is actually taking up this voxel space that's on the screen. So these are the actual physical locations of those 2 voxels, this one here and this one here, where this right here is the visual location of those voxels. So if I take that little cross section and I do a copy, I do a paste, you can see I've actually have both of those pieces in my hand here that I can work with. And this is where I can kind of drop it down and put it where I want to.
Now you'll notice I can actually stick it right on prime voxels. And that was part of my initial research with this, and now I spent a lot of time finding the correct roaming vector to use initially. And what you have to look for that initial roaming vector is a piece, if you look over at the glass, a piece that's going to push in to the direct center of a voxel point. So basically, you want that roaming vector, and you see it right here on the bottom left part. You want that little spike to be pushing right into the middle of a box. If it's pushing into the middle of the box, you're going to get like a perfect location for connections and all that kind of stuff.
I just figured this out, that you have to mirror it in the opposite direction so the ends will actually line up. Okay, it's making sense now. I was having a little problem with that for some reason there. It wasn't lining up for me when I went to stack it.
Huh.
But if I mirrored it
You can't stack
You see how
like
it's
this.
making these chevron shapes left and right? That's pretty cool.
See the double stack there?
Ah. Ooh, that's cool. So we actually got 3 different versions of the same thing here. That's
we can actually
pretty neat.
make like ridiculous amount of versions. It's crazy.
Lalone saying that they have a headache now.
I've had many headaches just trying to get this worked out, man. Not fun.
See if I can get this.
But for the Karen build, it's going to be perfect. So I hope you guys like it, and thanks so much for having me on your show, Tim. I really appreciate it.
Dude, that's some wicked poop. I'm trying to tone down my language here, but dude, that is badass. And not only that, check this out. I mean, I can come in here and heck, hold on a second. Let me find a different. There we go. I got it.
I'll start thinning it up too, just to show the different variations that we can do.
Yeah, and you can come in there and paint these different materials and mix and match and do all that kind of stuff with this. This is some pretty wicked stuff here, right?
And this is only the first part of my demonstrations. That I'm going to do another video next week, which is going to talk about some I think even cooler aspects of things you can do with this.
See now we're going to have to like take Pharrell's lattice work, my lattice work, and your lattice work, and we'll throw it all on one big board. I mean, dude, the amount of lattice is going to be up there is going to be freaking nuts, but yeah, that's all encompassing. You've seen that lattice board I got over there at the Bouillon board swap, right? The one that I put Pharrell's name on?
I think so. I haven't, you know what? I really don't use boards. Like, honestly, I probably didn't see it.
You have to check that out. Wait a minute. I might have it on me. Hold up. Wait a minute. I got the old version. This is the old version. There's a lot more than this, but
okay, yeah, I have seen these, and to be honest, none of these have really like intrigued me for lattice material.
Yeah, but I mean, you take this and you mix it with that over there that you've created. That's some pretty pimp stuff, dude. It's like all encompassing, pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to have different styles and stuff, especially like I would see this thicker lattice being used as like a floor lattice or something like that.
I've got a question though. Hold on a second. I need to test something out here.
I'm gonna make another smaller version, or with smaller lattice over here.
I want to demonstrate what you can do with this, because this is kind of important for the builder's aspect of this, at least in my eyes. I'm gonna go. I took the shaping size of it. I add one to the top, one to the top, one to the bottom, and then one on each end, like so. I fill it solid. I now reduce it by 1 on each side, like so, and then hit the delete key. Now when I come over here and I select these voxels and hit copy, and I paste that into this size area. I don't think I grabbed them all. Did I grab? No, I didn't grab them all. Hold on a second. Control copy, control paste, up 1, over 1, and paste. I didn't get my length right, so let's back out of it. Let's paste that in there one more time. Up one, paste. There we go. There's a implementation of it and how it will actually work within a build.
Yeah, like I said, because of the initial roaming vector piece that I found, it will connect directly to prime voxels. Very useful as a building tool to have in your toolbox. And if you check over here, Tim, I'll show you how I simply continue that smoothing process to utilizing that same line to create a thinner lattice that still functions exactly how it should.
That's pretty cool.
You can make an infinite amount of sizes for your lattice and still be functioning utilizing that roaming vector that we got with the 7-line tool over 5.
I got you.
Now, you can also use that vertical piece for stuff too. The offset vertical piece, when we didn't make it diagonal, that is also very useful.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, just being able to create a offset that is that thin, you can use it for like molding or, God, I couldn't even tell you how much stuff you could use that for. But you always got to remember where its origin point is. And the closer you get that origin point to other voxels, that's where you're going to get the reaction, and it's going to start acting all funky and stuff. So you have to kind of take that in consideration.
By Rain saying put putty inside that lattice and see what happens.
It's gonna, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Filling that entire pane.
It's at an angle too.
That must be the wrong one. Let me see.
It's on an angle.
Oh, look at that. That's interesting. That's a nice shape. Let me get that.
Well,
shape.
look at the back. Look at the back. Come back here. Oh, that one looks cool. You filled up the gap in between the bars.
Right. So there's the one in the middle, and then there's the two on the side. You can really see the layers here and how far they're pushed in.
I like this one right here. This panel looks pretty cool. You can probably come up with a neat design with your lattice work like that.
Oh yeah. You can even turn these on the 90 degree and get some really cool stuff too.
Pretty cool, Kodi. Pretty cool. Ooh.
Yeah, Klug would have a heart attack.
Klug would bust a nut right about now. No! Not my voxels!
You're breaking it. That's what you'd say.
Most definitely. Yeah, man. That is wicked as all, man. Like seriously, the things you can do with that is pretty amazing.
Yep, it's definitely it's good. It's a new tech. The roaming vector technology was originally created by Steve Klug. It was his brainchild, in fact, as a way to solve the problem of
the line tool.
Of the line tool, exactly. And the line tool is so powerful now. unlike any other tool, it has so much more capability than you can even imagine for building and slicing and doing a multitude of things that aren't going to disrupt your voxel shapes like they normally would.
Well, yeah, he's been working really close with Miguel. I mean, when I was at SOE Live, I mean, you'd always see Miguel with Steve or Jeff. Those were the guys that Miguel hung out with the whole entire time. Every time I'd see one, I'd see the other. And Miguel is the creator of Voxel Farm, which is the actual engine for the voxels. And of course, when they implement the voxels into Landmark, they have to do a lot of tinkering and playing to make sure that all the different engines kind of work together. And it's amazing how, you know, it's, you put minds together and how much stuff that can actually be created in the world. And I honestly think under that same premise, you know, you could pretty much change the real world in the same way.
Absolutely.
I mean, we would have like we'd have the moon terraformed by now if we put all of our heads together. I know
if there's profit in it.
There would have to be profit in it. I mean, still, I mean, look at the stuff that's been created free. You know, I mean, look at like Mozilla and, you know, the GNU and all the other programs out there that's been like, or OBS by itself. I mean, it's a free program. I mean, you don't have to have money involved in it. People come together just because they want to test their own limits. And this is exactly that kind of thinking. I mean, you just pass on information, and once you understand how one thing works, you can make even more stuff, which it's just phenomenal, and I love it. I love it.
Heck yeah, man! And it's cool because now we have you know, how many people are in the audience? 80, 70 people that now have this in their back pocket, or could have this in their back pocket to find something that's even more extreme or more useful.
Exactly.
Because you getting to like this point here was a massive group effort by a lot of voxelmancers and that kind of stuff, and they freely give it away, and it's really awesome stuff.
Yeah, I love stuff like this. This really shows the extent of what the game can do. It actually opens up a lot of doors for certain things to be able to be created in the world that we couldn't do before. That is awesome, Kodi. All I can say is thanks for showing us that. That's wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.